Elon Musk now trying to distance himself from Trump?
Good luck with that. It's not going to work. He came in with this administration on January 20th, maybe even before, with Doge and his chainsaw, or I liken it to a wrecking ball that he waved through the federal government, wrecking civil servants, their work, and creating chaos in the federal government.
I want to get to the book in a few minutes, but let's talk about some of the current issues right now. Trump's entire economic agenda, Jonathan, as you know, was thrown into jeopardy earlier this week. His tariffs are now back on, at least for now. What's the significance here that Trump largely won on several of these economic issues, yet his policies have faced major headwinds, both logistically and politically and internationally?
Right, and in some cases, legally. I mean, look, it's one thing to run for president and, hit those kitchen table issues that the American people really cared about. But then he came in as president and started doing things that upended everything he said he was going to work on, lowering inflation, lowering prices. And instead, particularly with his tariffs regime, he's doing the exact opposite. And he's doing it in a way that sort of betrays the fact that he doesn't know what he's doing. And, God bless the Treasury Secretary for the job that he has in trying to reassure the global markets that the United States is not going down a path that it can't reverse.
Yo, welcome to another edition of the Government Cheese Party Podcast. I am the main man, Psycho J, and always with me is CJ Rich and the one and only Dave the Headache. We got a jam-packed show today. I'm actually excited because we got a couple of our segments coming back with the CJ Rich. What's on CJ Rich Mind, and Off the Rails with Dave the Headache. So I'm pretty excited of bringing both of those segments back to the forefront and the staple of the Government Cheese Party Podcast. For our audience, if you are looking for us, you can find us anywhere that you listen to podcasts. And also, too, we always do a brand new episode each and every weekend, courtesy for you guys. We have a busy week, so we normally try to do our shows on the weekend, but we are glad that you have subscribed to us and follow us wherever you get YouTube or wherever you listen to podcasts. You can also find us on TikTok, and you can also follow us on Facebook. So, the opening parts of Elon Musk trying to separate himself from the Trump administration is pretty interesting. And before we got started, Dave had some feels like some things he wanted to get off his chest about that. So Dave, the floor is yours.
All right. Well, I find it really interesting how patterns and things happen in a certain sequence that makes it very hard to ignore. Especially if you pay attention and you're a seeker of truth. I had a pretty what's the word? Pretty useless, pointless, just a very shitty conversation with someone not too long ago, and it was one of them things where I think that he was trying to teach me something. He of course he was one of the personalities that feels like they have some knowledge and something to give to everyone, even though no one asked him for his advice or really gave a fuck about anything he has to say about anything. But but that's the type of personality that I was dealing with in this instance. And and my mindset in this interaction was, I thought we was gonna have a conversation. I thought that that he was interested in what I had to say, and I was interested in what he had to say, and and there'd be some productive conversation that was happening. Well, obviously that didn't happen, but there was things that I did. I was able to take from the conversation, as something beneficial, something interesting. If not what he was saying, it was what he brought up. And one of the things was he was telling me about there being Elon calling for World War III. It's saying that that we need to be prepared, it's coming, and all this stuff, and that Starlink satellites would play a big part of that. Now, of course, anyone who knows me, I don't give a fuck about Elon, and I don't care, but I do have my theories on him, and I do have some things that I feel very strongly about him, but nothing that's too interesting enough for me to bring up, at least at the time. Well, when he brought up Starlink satellite company and everything, that stuck in my mind after that conversation, and literally the day after that morning, I woke up to interesting instance, right? That happened. I think it was around May 19th. Okay. Trump. Well, actually, no. The first thing wasn't even this. It was the first thing was the situation they have in Burkina Faso in Africa, where they kicked out the French. They kicked the French out and took back their mines and took back their property. But the other thing was in South Africa, they have they have a situation, right, where people are calling it a white genocide. Where they're saying that Africans and the government is conspiring to eliminating and killing off white farmers.
Oh, wow!
Right now, if you're a watcher of The View, you know how Whoopi feels about that, and if I'm being completely honest, I think she's absolutely right. There is no white genocide. There is no conspiracy that at least no true evidence of one, at least,
right,
that suggests that there is a white genocide happening in South Africa. But what is happening is there's a vast disproportion of resources and land there. When you have 20% of the population owning 80% of the land, and by proxy resources, you have something that's could be called an enigma. Right. Something doesn't add up. Yeah. There's issues there. And of course, South Africa having as much crime as they have there, this only makes sense because you got all these people who are basically poor, who basically don't have anything, to take care of themselves or have no way of even providing for themselves. Of course, you're going to have higher than usual crime.
Right.
Now, I know some people are like, okay, so what does it have to do with anything? Well, the reason why they don't have their land and they don't have their resources that rightfully belong to theirs by ownership of the fact that they were born there, and that their land rightfully belongs to them.
Yeah.
The reason why they don't have it is because it was stolen from them during the events of apartheid. Apartheid being basically another version of Jim Crow type laws that basically oppress and and not subliminally, but actually literally suppress and oppress one group of people, mainly dark skinned people.
Right.
Apartheid was set to create a separation between the white settlers coming up from Europe, France, and the Dutch. Well, actually, I think it was probably just the Dutch, but coming up from the Netherlands to basically exploit the land and resources there and call ownership of it, and it was something to create separation to basically say that, okay, even though we stole this from you and we know we did, legally we're going to set our own law to where you can't be close to us. We're not going to give you the chance to do anything about it. We robbed you, and that's it. That's the end of the story. Now, of course, apartheid has since been abolished in 1990 with the election of President Mandela. But the issues and the effects of that are still very real. Yeah. So now you're looking at a situation where it's like where you have all these people who have this freedom, but have no way of exercising that freedom because they have no land that are no resource or nothing to actually work with. Kind of sounds real familiar, right? Mm-hmm. And
very familiar.
And so so again, you have this high amount of crime because there's high amount of confusion because there's high amount of poverty, and the ones that rightfully should hold responsibility for it are being protected because they still haven't had to give up their land. Now things have changed over the last 25 years. To where black politicians and black presidents and have been able to put in place certain amount of laws to where they have an effort to better proportion the land and like there's certain things you can't do or whatever if there isn't enough Africans involved with a certain with whatever it is that you're trying to do now, and that's to try to empower and to repair the effects of the oppression that they had to go through. Now, has that worked? A little bit, not enough because not enough has been done. But the main thing is that they're trying to do something. Now, so you have a situation where the white people now are saying that since there's a new president that may be on the way, President Julius Malema, who's very outspoken, more so than any other president up to now, right? And he's not pulling any punches, and so now they're scared. All right, okay, so you're scared, and in their fear, they're crying out, saying that, "Oh my God, they're coming to our farms and they're killing us," and they're making up these stories that give the impression that they're being hunted, all because and again, I call it the white girl effect. She starts to feel the threatened, and she starts to feel pressed in some way, and she takes it overboard. Suddenly somebody has has violated her in the worst way, even though she hasn't been touched. And so that's what they're dealing with over there. They're dealing with all these sensitive people who are scared because they know that what they have doesn't belong to them in the first place, but they still want their allies, mainly the European allies, and of course the U.S. Being who we have leading us right now, to help them keep their position and their power, right? And that's what they do. They say, okay, we all we have to do is call daddy, and daddy's going to come and put these black folk back in place.
Nobody got time for that.
It's worked over time, but we're in a little bit of a new time right now, and I'll get to that later. But in this confusion, Elon Musk, being South African, and being that he's trying to get licenses to for his Starlink company. Well, South Africa has banned the Starlink satellite company that has banned them from even operating in South Africa.
Because of Elon?
Yes, and also because Elon doesn't want to adhere to the guidelines that have been put in place for the disproportion of resources.
Gotcha.
So Elon doesn't like that. So Elon makes his way over to the U.S. and starts trying to partner up with Trump, and Elon is apparently the one that has really pushed this ban of DEI.
Right.
All because in response to what South Africa was doing to him. So
in other words, he brought another country's problems over to us.
Yeah, well, no, he brought more intensity because we already had this problem.
Right. We've had the issue
Right.
when it comes to that, anyways,
But
not as
he's
intensified as his is.
right. He's just throwing fuel onto a fire so that he can get what he wants. So he can manipulate the system, because what he wants us, America, to go over to claim the side of the white settlers and to show,
Which is bullshit, but that's exactly what America did here in America to the Native Americans. Like that land doesn't belong to you,
right.
So why would we go over there and fight for something that doesn't belong for you? But
I mean, but obviously,
America will be the right country to come to, I guess.
Exactly, because that's what Trump's all about.
Right.
So he goes.
Power. It's a power trip.
He goes to Trump to try to get basically military force and world influence to side with his point of view, and Trump obviously hook, line, and sinker.
But the thing is that what he didn't realize is that Trump is not he's not stable, and he's so indecisive.
Well, no, that doesn't play into anything. See, because
Why is he wanting to back out now, though?
That's what I'm getting to. See, the only thing that Elon cares about is his bottom line. Now, see, so what he did was he told Trump that there was a white genocide, and he gave him all this proof in paper, like, and all this evidence of the white genocide happening. Now, in this meeting on May 19th, Trump invited the president of South Africa to the White House, and it was obviously that he did this for one reason. It was trying to embarrass and expose the president for the actions of his country, and his evidence was a video of a group of people chanting in the street, saying "kill the farmer, kill the and all this," and that was an activist party that was again speaking out of anger because they were pissed off about the situation they were in, and anyone that was in a situation would be able to understand that. But they wasn't saying that they hadn't admitted to any type of crime. They're just saying, man, they're saying basically what the equivalent of fuck them, it's us. We need to do for us, right? But no violence, even in that rally was even taking place. So that's out. He says, "Oh, but I got documents and I got pictures of white farmers being killed and being burned and being murdered." Mm-hmm. Well, the president Ramaphosa, that's the president over there right now. He crossed his legs and let Trump spew all of his bullshit all out, but before he started to speak, because it turns out that his pictures wasn't even pictures of South Africa.
Oh wow! Okay.
Wasn't even had anything to do with anything that's happening in South Africa. They were pictures of old conflicts during the Republic of Congo, those conflicts and other conflicts and bordering and more northern countries. None of them had anything to do with Africa in the time frame of what he's calling the white genocide.
Right.
So
off of the back of what Elon was saying, nothing was
going on. Nothing. They couldn't prove anything because one, it didn't happen, and also, they didn't have any facts to begin with. So Elon, gave him all this bullshit that ended up not even being true. Now, here's the part. Here's part. Well, okay, I'll tell you this other part. So the other part was, okay, but what about this graveyard? There's a mass graveyard in Africa. There's photos of it. Of all these white crosses and all these white people that were buried in this mass graveyard. Ramaphosa looks at him. He's like, "Well, that isn't a mass graveyard. There's no bodies in that area. It's a memorial for many of the farmers that died in the past. Most of them being black. They were memorial of not just black, but just farmers in general during the conflict that led up to apartheid.
right.
That has nothing to do with bodies and all that stuff. Trump, of course, didn't want to listen. He kept on with his bullshit, but it was obvious that Trump had no real information.
Yeah, he had no valid information.
And again, that's Elon obviously playing his game, trying to thinking he wouldn't. He's too smart to be like the people of America will be dumb enough to fall for this.
Right.
But the problem is when the media got a hold of it, it started looking more like, oh wait a minute, Trump just was caught in a lie. This is also
Trump
why
is coming back on Trump, and Trump is not liking that shit.
Right, and it's also why I mean, I guess y'all haven't seen what I'm talking about, but
I haven't.
right.
I haven't.
So it hasn't really been televised very much. So they're trying to keep it on the wraps, even though they had a big old spectacle to begin with, obviously to really showcase, right?
Yeah, I stopped watching anything that has to do with like I literally,
Right.
like I said, I just
But the point is, they did it because they wanted to use this as a big old point that they're trying to make, and it turns out it was a dud.
It literally smacked them in their face.
But if you look back on it now, it shows you the ignorance of Trump. It also shows you the manipulation of Elon. Now all of a sudden, Elon is trying to go on a apology tour and want to separate because he knows that he still needs to do business with these other countries.
Cancel culture is real, bro.
Well, actually, yeah, it is. But see, it actually goes a lot deeper than that. Because here's the thing: Elon wants to manipulate everybody.
Yeah.
Elon is a mass manipulator.
Yeah, that's
he wants to play both fields. Well, if you fuck with South Africa and you start fucking with Africa in general, mainly Kenya, Tanzania, Mali, Nigeria, Burkina Faso, these areas right here, you're fucking with something that goes beyond the scope of what you want to fuck with. Because you know what? At that point, you got to realize that you're fucking with Russia and you're fucking with China, which is also interesting because what's his name? Elon wanted to talk about World War III. Well, where's all that talk now? Because what you thought was going to happen, you thought you was going to be able to play each side, but it done turn back. It done turn the other way, to where now you don't really have any place, and there's no real benefit in staying connected to America because you done already overplayed your hand. Because if he really wanted to make a problem, he would have gotten America in a position where they overstepped, as we always do, which is, again, it's smart. It's a damn good game plan. But he wanted to get us to overstep, which is going to throw us into a conflict that we thought was just between a shithole country and Africa. But that shithole country is got the backing of, again, Russia and China. So now that would be World War III, but it wouldn't be much of a war. It'd be a crushing of the United States. Mm-hmm. We wouldn't stand 10 seconds.
Oh, no.
If Russia and China decided to link up. And guess what? That still may happen. Because I think I said it last year maybe. They already announced Russia, China, and Iran has been in negotiation of an alliance. And guess what? It's happening. So we're already on the outside.
Yeah.
And anybody that thinks that America is just so great and so powerful that we can just take on Russia, China, and Iran and other African countries.
See if we were just like, it was like one of those countries.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? But all of them?
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
There's no way. The America cannot go against all of them.
Well,
that's like what the hell? What did we thought we ain't that powerful? That's when those nukes are gonna come out. And like when I'm telling you,
no, it's not. You know, because are you talking about our nukes?
Yeah, that's when our nukes is gonna. We ain't gonna have no choice.
Yeah, and then that just be a death sentence.
Right.
Right. So yeah. So that's what I'm saying. So the only thing we can do in that instance is to surrender. And you think we're not going to surrender? You really think that the president of the United States isn't that much of a coward?
How bad of a surrender would it be though? Because think about it for us as people, right? I understand like how we would fall under a new government, right? But
Right.
I think that we really honestly have been needing a new government for a long fucking time.
That's a good point.
And I mean I can't, and I hate saying it because
Right.
like I see what some of these other countries go through. You get what I'm saying? That we don't have to endure, so we don't know what that feels like on the other end. But at the
Right.
same time, our government has needed to be disbanded for a long time. Like, I mean, a very long time, because you have the same people giving us, it's the same thing. The same reason why, what's that dude from here, why he was in office for my whole entire lifetime. There's no way, McConnell, there's no way that we should have people sitting in seats that have, like, that can make real change for that fucking long.
Right.
There's no reason why that should happen.
Well, I mean, I mean, you know, I agree with the sentiment, because it's like, and I hate to make it all about race, but
Right. True facts.
You know what I mean?
Might actually work in our benefit.
well,
honestly.
and that's also why I'm trying to get people to realize and really think about the options, because see what's going on in Burkina Faso. That will. If we're invited, put it that way, if they allowed us and they accepted us
right
into Burkina Faso, Burkina Faso has the makings of becoming something absolutely, something the world has never seen before, because Burkina Faso has the resources that to be self-reliant. They don't need to trade with nobody. All the resources is coming from that from that area.
Well, see, that's what I've always said about America. We can do our own. We can do it.
No.
Now it just not being done because of the lazy mentality.
No, we don't have enough. We have enough to maybe last us maybe at max maybe 5-6 years.
What all do we really honestly need that, like, besides food and water and shelter to survive? What do you mean? Like, I mean, I feel like I honestly, if we were to start getting serious about farming, we were to start getting serious, like, if people back in the day, how did they survive without all
You're
this
talking about a
extra-
whole different appetite, though. That's that. I mean, if we were to go back into your minimalist society, yeah, but that's not our
Well, that's
our
what I'm
appetite.
saying. That's the
Well,
problem
okay,
of the
all
new
right.
world.
Well,
You know
that's
what I'm saying?
I
Bullshit.
agree with that, but that's a hard sell and a hard turn that you can't really expect anybody.
absolutely.
But what I'm saying is Burkina can do that, even in, like, Burkina can do what you're saying, like for America, they can actually do that to where it's like they don't have to really change anything, and matter of fact, their life will probably improve.
Right.
because they have an abundance of resources. They and those regions, yes, like I say, Niger, Mali, Ghana, and those regions, that region has literally powered countries outside.
Oh, no, I believe it.
But
No,
that's what I'm
I
saying.
believe
So when you take that and you close it off for self-reliance, they can easily do it. Mm-hmm. Now, again, that's something that's way down. It's more of a dream right now, because we don't know how any of this is going to go.
Right.
But I mean, people need to really pay attention, because something is happening, something is breaking. The scourge and the horrible reality of white supremacy is dying, because Europe is bankrupt.
Yeah.
Like what was protecting them?
It's not protecting them no longer.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Those powers are down. I'm not say dead, but they're down. Greece's bankrupt. France is about to be bankrupt after this Burkina Faso shit. The Brexit happened in England. The Dutch ain't been doing shit. You know what I'm saying? Like Germany's is the only one that's the kind of, but they're still trying to repair from the last World War. So it's they can't do shit. But what they got now is they got Russia and China.
Yeah.
And Africa.
Yeah.
All fucking.
I mean, well.
Honestly, that's kind of true.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like they all working together.
Yeah.
That whole white supremacy shit is dying. I ain't gonna say dead, but it's dying. And we're seeing the effects of it because when America says something, the world don't care no more.
Yeah.
And we really need to look at the options and look at what's good for us, because that's what they've done for themselves
people going over
for
to
hundreds
the other
of years.
countries. They're going to other countries to live. Like you got it's like it's more of a. That's why they're trying to put the stipulation on our driver's license. You know what I'm saying? Like there's certain things that they're changing. If you look at it. You know, if they really look at it, to even get on an airplane, you got to have a certain type of license. Come on now, let's be real. Like, I mean, it's just little stuff that they're trying to trap us in America. And if you, I don't know, it's just so many things that I've been looking at, and I just feel like people need to prepare and get smarter and start educating yourself on what it looks like to get out of America, what it looks like to be able to live and survive. Start getting yourself prepared for what's to come next. You know what I'm saying? Right. Like really preparing.
And I want to be clear, man.
And
like
getting your village together, okay?
Right.
Get your village together. You have to know people that know things. You know what I'm saying? Educate yourself. Get you a group. You should always have somebody in your group that knows how to hunt. You should always have somebody in your group that knows how to do like the survivalist skills. You got to have people in your group that would be able to have that. Have somebody in your circle that knows that. Somebody that maybe even particularly has land. In places to where even if you have to bunker down for a little bit, you have somebody that you can go to for that. Like it's just
right. And I want to be completely clear on where my stance is on what I'm saying and how I'm saying, because I'm saying something that can be considered very controversial. Mm-hmm. That's something that could be potentially be dangerous. And I accept that and I understand that. So I want to be clear on where I'm coming from with that. If you are a proud citizen of the United States and you believe in what the United States was supposed to be meant for, and you believe in the American dream and you believe in equality and all that stuff, I'm not saying it's time to retreat. What I'm saying is we need to be honest about where we are, because if anything's going to change, it has to come out of rejection of ignorance. We have to know where we are, because, like I said, if you're proud and you don't want to leave this country, and you don't want to abandon this country, well, you need to start saying some shit. You need to start getting up, being involved, and standing up for the shit instead of sitting back and watching the shit burn because the overseers are making it comfortable for you to do so. Mm-hmm. You need to start saying it like it is, saying what you feel needs to happen and standing on it. Because I've been saying this for fucking years. Fucking years I've been saying this shit. And my dream is for our people to be set in an economic equal sitting as everyone else. And I've never fucking blamed any fucking body for that.
right.
I'm talking about our people, black people. Stop fucking doing all this fucking complaining and shit, and taking responsibility for the knowledge that belongs to you. And if you don't like it, I don't give a fuck.
Right. I was just about to say that right behind you. Don't give a flying fuck. Okay.
Because it's ridiculous. That's where my whole being is at this point. How are you going to keep talking about what they did to you and what all this and not do a damn thing to fix it? You still falling in the same trap that they set for you back in the slavery days. You want to keep something from a black man, you put it in a book. That same system is just as clear to me when we have information right here, right available to us, but we hold it. We hold it captive. We hold it back here. We put a price on it. If you think it's okay for someone who has the knowledge to not teach the black children about themselves and their history, and you think it's okay to do that and to wait until they're fully developed as an adult to offer it to them in the form of a class and a college that costs half your life to attend, you're the fucking problem. I don't give a damn about the cop. I don't give a damn about Trump. I don't give a damn about any of that. You're the fucking, you are who I would hate if I had the heart to.
Yeah.
So that's all I got to say.
All right. Well, I guess that is off the rails with
I think me
but
and Dave are on the same boat when it comes to for our people.
there's a lot.
Okay, I got the whole notes. I'm working on the emotional side of our people because we most definitely need to work on that shit because we're not bringing this over to the new world.
Right.
Go ahead.
So are we doing what's on CJ's mind?
Yes, we're going into it.
And, all right, and then after what's on CJ's mind will be mine, and then we're going to close it out. So, without further ado, what is on CJ's mind?
What it do, y'all? What's up? So, okay. So, listen, this right here is like it's a general topic, but right now, I'm gonna gear it towards just my people, y'all. And I, nothing against nobody else, and I have to put that out there because I know we have listeners all over the place of all regions, but I have to help my people. Okay. So, one of the things that I think is a big thing in the black community, you guys, is cheating. Right, it's one of those things. Like I think it's why a lot of the men and the women are always against. I feel like when we always are battling each other, right? We're always battling each other, and I think this is one of the hot topics in that area. And I think, in general, for like women, it's always we're pointing our finger, but at the end of the day, we doing just as much dirt as they are. Right. So I need to, that's just me, in generalized, kind of just throwing it out there. But see, this is the question. So this question right here is designed to spark a conversation, you guys. So we want an honest conversation. All right, so we want to see emotional intelligence coming into this conversation. We want, and I want you guys to, I'm all about, saying, putting it out there to the world, you guys. I want people to truly come in and answer this question, okay? When it gets posted on YouTube, you guys, like I said, don't forget to follow us on all those different platforms, YouTube, TikTok, what else? Facebook. We are everywhere, you guys. So, and you have different avenues where you can answer in the DMs, in the comments, or I think we still have that phone number. Do we still have the number?
I believe so. I have to check.
Okay, so even if you have to come and you call, we'll look into that a little bit more. But right now, y'all do have the comments in the DM areas for all of those places that you can answer this question. And I feel like we should read it on the next segment once we see what's going on. And I'll start trying to push it out to y'all. So, all right. So the question is, we want to look at the emotional and social dynamics of all this question that I'm about to answer you or ask everyone. The question is, do black men or black women cheat more? Why? Which side do you think cheats the most?
Are we answering now? Or,
Yeah, we can go through in general. All of us answer. I'll answer last only because it's my question.
All right. Who I think that cheats the most? I mean, it's pretty close. You know what I mean? I mean, like I don't think one side cheats like drastically more than the other, but I do think there is an answer, and I would say probably men that probably cheat the most, but.
Now you got to look at it, all of it, though. Look at the whole scenario. So I'm talking about not just cheating as in physically going out and cheating, but like mental cheating, physical cheating, the, you know what I'm saying, stuff that like emotionally cheating,
right.
The whole 9 yards.
Well, I mean, even in that sense, I mean, I feel like I would still say men probably cheat the most, but see, like the thing is, women nowadays, it's really hard. It's really hard to say because women have taken on this masculine mindset that shows in many other other aspects. Right. I mean, women have the most opportunity to cheat. Now. But men typically, are more prone to cheat. See what I mean? So it's kind of a strange area because men probably are probably more prone to cheat. That's because we don't have as many options as women do. If women had to work as hard as we have to work to get in a sexual relationship, then like they probably would. I mean, it'd probably be about the same, which is kind of where the world's going right now. You know what I mean? Because
that's why this is a hot topic for sure.
Yeah,
I think it's one of those things that and I absolutely agree with you, Dave. Like I said I was gonna go last, but because your point literally aligns with everything that I was saying, I would say most definitely in this moment at this time, men most definitely cheat the most, right? But in the dynamics of where it's going at this moment,
right,
the women are about to top the men.
Yeah.
All right. So this is why this conversation is being brought up. So Psycho J, go ahead. I want to get your opinion before we go forward. I just wanted to let that be known that my opinion is exactly what Dave said. That's crazy. He took the words right out of my mouth. Go ahead.
I mean, in the same sense, I mean, yeah, for the history, men have been the ones that have kind of cheated in a way. Infidelity, baby mama, stuff like that. That has been, I felt like, more of a dominant trait in men than it did women.
Right.
Now, I mean, it's a whore fest. I mean,
oh yeah, everybody's a whore.
Yeah.
I mean, plus, even when you think about like nature, right? It's only really, if you, I hate to say it, but I'm about to say it, man. It's only natural for men to cheat, right?
Yeah, because they got to stick their dick somewhere.
No, that's
not where he was going.
That's okay. Not where I was going at all. I mean,
hole's a hole,
right? Yeah, that's why you dig one out in the fucking dirt and you pour some water in it and you got yourself a Lamborghini.
There you go.
But you fuck a hole in the ground. But see what I'm saying is, you got. See, it's only natural and logical that men would cheat more than women because the consequence naturally for women are much higher. Because if a woman is promiscuous, then she runs the risk of basically being 9 months pregnant. And have to go through all these hormone changes and all this stuff, and then of course if you believe it, which I do, but if you believe it, what they say about the chemical
connection,
get connection and changes that happens in a woman's mind.
Yep.
When she has multiple partners, she becomes more masculine.
Yep.
And that's again something that's very unnatural. So even in nature, it basically shows that the inclination does supposed to be inclined to the man. But see, we live in a time where a woman's consequence has been diverted. Yeah. With all these laws and all these abortion options, stuff like that. It like the
abortion
natural
option is out the window now, but yeah,
Right.
I mean, it's a lot of things that kind of go intertwined into that. Why, up until this point, it's been like that, right? I think that those consequences still lie there. They're just not important on them as greatly as it was before, and I think honestly, because of the cheating that has been happening on the male side, I think it's only so much that women or a human being really can take on, right? Even though, like I said, all of this in the beginning of all of this is a choice. It's a choice. Everything in life is a choice.
Right.
You choose to be with these cheaters.
right.
You know what I'm saying? So like I have to put that out there. And ladies, the only reason why I'm saying this, and I know a lot of people be like, oh, they don't call women simping, do they? What do they call us? I don't know what they call us.
know.
But either way, I don't know what the technical term is for it. But women, if we don't start checking ourselves, who the fuck is going to check us? Right. We have to start really owning up to what the hell is going on in this world and what's going on. So that's why I wanted this topic to come up. But and Psycho J had to take a moment break here, so he won't be answering this next one unless he comes in at the end. Oh shit! Put the phone over here. All right, so. No, we're not connected to the family room. All right, so I'm like, what the hell is that? My phone is trying to connect to the TV. All right, so what do you think cheating looks like in the black community? Is it more emotional, physical, or digital?
Emotional, physical, digital. I would say physical, I guess. I mean, and again, I've never had to suffer through
A cheating situation.
yeah, and I mean, and hopefully, in which who knows? I may have
That's
to.
because
some point,
you've made choices,
Right.
to not involve yourself.
Right, and very strong choices.
Yeah, I mean, and that was your right though. And the thing is that it hasn't guided you in the wrong direction. You're not walking around.
Well, I'm not
here,
saying that.
In a certain sense, right? Because you're not walking around here, a baby daddy.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? You're not walking around here.
And I never would. I never. Let me clear about something. I never would be a baby daddy.
Right.
Because if I have a child, that child's gonna be with me one way or another. Because you'll be in for a fight for the rest of your fucking life.
Right.
And matter of fact, because see, a lot of people don't. I don't think in the way that I do, as far as like in dealing with something like that. Because my thing is, if you have a child, and you feel like this ain't gonna work and all that stuff, you take your child with you. Women do it all the time. Men have every right to do it also. Mm-hmm. So yeah, if I felt like it was time for me to leave, I'm taking my child with me, and there ain't nothing the court can say about that, because.
On either side, I mean, at the end of the day, you can still she could still battle, but at the end,
right.
But I feel like just like that's why you have those cases, and I feel like those cases are more rare than not. Is where the parents are literally splitting custody, so the one parent gets for it 1 week, the other parent gets a week.
Exactly, and that's the way it should be. But see, my thing is like, see, a lot of men forfeit. That I won't say the rights, but they forfeit that option because they don't start fighting until they're in the middle in the middle of the conflict.
But why do you
need
think
to start
that
fighting?
Is?
Huh?
Why do you think that is?
Because men are programmed to.
Some of them are the reason why they don't do it is because they're not financially.
Oh,
stable.
no, but that's true. But
the woman is usually the most financial stable point in the house because the man was in the house.
That's only been true for the last maybe about 15 years.
Right. Well, that's what I'm saying. Well,
Yeah.
that's I think that's what's molding why the women are about to start trumping this cheating area. You get what I'm saying? I
Right.
think it's molding that everything that we do in this life. Everything that you do in life has consequences, and the consequences it goes if you go back deep enough in a lot of this stuff. Women at one point in time, were very submissive and very not permissive. It's not out there in the world trying to sleep around. But what shifted that change, especially in the black community?
There's a number of things really because you can attribute it to the feminist movement.
That most definitely was a big one. Yeah, that was a big one in it.
You can contribute it to the governmental effort to disband the black family because that's documented, dude.
Mm-hmm.
It's
all documented.
So like everything that they did as far as the was it the welfare and all that stuff was designed.
Where the man cannot be in the household and it was a lot of
stuff.
It was
designed.
All
these things.
It was designed to fuck with the black families.
It was designed to disrupt the black family
dynamics.
Dynamic. Thank you. So a lot of things obviously can be contributive, and it can't be just one thing. It has to be a combination of those things. But they even at the same time, like I said, I've made strong choices.
Right.
Very, very, very super rigid choices.
Right.
That has its downfalls.
It has consequences on both sides.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, one of those choices that I still stick to is that I would never even consider dating a woman that makes more money than me. For what you just said.
Damn, Dave. Okay, so look, wait a minute. We're gonna get into that because wait a minute. We're not gonna pedal past that.
Hey.
What if, you know what I'm saying, you really, really fall for this woman? You know what I'm saying? I feel, but what if you don't discuss your finances until you already done fell for it?
That's no way.
That's just being real. But or what if while y'all are in a relationship, right? Y'all in a relationship and she then starts making more money than you. Are you gonna break off with her because she's starting to make more money than you?
That would be a conversation.
So what? So you're gonna have her stop in her tracks and hold her progress back?
Nope, that's not what I'm going to do.
Okay,
I'm going to make myself clear, right? In the beginning, first of all.
Okay.
Now, if she wants to work and she wants to do all that, I'm not going to stop her.
Right.
But I have my limits as for me.
Okay.
I'm not going to stop you from doing what you need to do, but don't expect me to be with you, and don't expect me to be just a part of your game. Because at that point, that's what you're doing. I have my limits just like you have it, and it's not no malice. It's not no malice behind it. We can still be friends. You know how I am with my friends.
Right.
My friends are my friends.
Right. No, I get
being
you.
my friend is like being in a relationship.
Right.
You know what I mean? I hold my relationships in very high regard.
Right.
So when I say that, I'm not saying it on some let's just be friends shit. No, I'm saying it on some real shit. You know what I mean? So when I say that, I can have affection, have love for a woman that again makes more money to me, but there's going to be a line that we're not going to cross. You know what I mean? There's going to be a line that we have to respect for us to be able to interact. It's that simple.
Well, okay. So what if you find a woman because I hear what you're saying, and I'm kind of getting where you put down, but I think for me it's more so in the sense of this, right? It sounds like to me that you're not willing to date, even if she is one of those ones that are not going to use her finances as a leverage, right?
Right.
She's not. It sounds like to me like you don't want a woman of high stature. That's what it's coming off as, but I know that's not the case. You get what I'm saying? Like,
right. I mean, it depends on what you consider high stature.
I think I think for me, high stature is coming and going to the highest limit of what she can be as a woman. Now, and that can be not just financial, but she's as a woman, she knows that, like, I mean, okay, so I just to give you the example, you know what I'm saying? I've at this point in my relationship in particular, right? I've always made the most money, right? But and it's been times because we've been flawed that that has been brought up. But I never in the person that I am now anyways, I will never take his masculinity away in the household. Right. Now, do I agree with everything that he says? Absolutely not. That's where a discussion needs to be had, right? But I feel like he's still the man of the household. And I tell the boys this all the time. When I say, like, y'all might come to me and ask me 1,001 fucking questions, and you thinking that I'm answering them, but at the end of the day, Daddy come in and say hell no. Guess what's gonna happen? Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's all going to hell no. Like, y'all understand that he's in charge. Right. Even if we don't agree with him, at the end of the day, he's in charge. But yeah, I'll make the most money. Right. So what in that type of situation, when you have a woman knows how to stay in that womanhood, that wife, that mother, that, you know what I'm saying, she has perfected to be able to do that and still be in the world, would that change your insight?
So it wouldn't change. It wouldn't be a drastic change. I mean, it would change a little bit, but not enough to really like change the end result. Because see, my thing is, you know, if you know how to be a woman and all that, I mean, that definitely puts you in a place in my mind where something could be benefited from exploring that. Right. But my logical brain is gonna come first. Okay. Because if I can't handle being the provider, then I'd feel like that I'm taking away her privilege of being a woman.
Okay.
So,
do you think that maybe is the cause of some of the cheating in the world too? Yes. Like, because they see the either the woman side or even on the man side that I'm not worthy to. Yes. Or I'm not, absolutely. Or I'm over worthy for this person.
I know for a fact it is, because there's, and I ain't gonna say who, but I know for a fact there is, and somebody very close to me, right, extremely close to me, right, but the basically has a little bit of that, and yeah, and I'm just in the unique position where I can identify it before I made the mistake. Right. Because, I gotta be honest with myself first. Right. And myself says that I know ego. I know my ego. I know how egos work. And if I'm gonna be able to deal with my ego, I have to be able to deal with it in the parameters that I'm able to deal with it in. I can't overstep those parameters and still think that everything's gonna be okay, or expect everything to be okay. So in my thinking is like, I got a woman that could do all that. I'm gonna admire her. Okay. Would I claim her? No. But I would definitely admire her.
You don't think that that's your ego stepping in of not being able to claim her?
It does. That's what I'm saying. Like,
so that is what it is.
Yeah, that's a big portion of it. But the other side is the logical side of it. The logical side of it is that if things go wrong, I don't have a card to play in this game.
Well, it's not saying that you're not doing nothing. I mean,
but the courts
she's making more though.
But the courts and the ones who judge are going to judge me much harshly. And then on top of that, if I don't have that position, then I don't have anything to say.
Man, I wish that I could. I'm listening to you, and I'm like, I'm really hearing you. I'm like, oh my God, Dave. So like, and I get it. I get what you're saying because I can see both sides of that. Like I see what you're saying, but I'm like, you know how many people that, thank you, Jesus. You know how many people like that you possibly could have passed up that were people that God was purposely sending to you because that was something that was like a work through. You get what I'm saying? Like,
well, I mean, that's debatable. That's debatable. I mean, you don't know who God is sending for you.
You don't. I mean? But that's the same thing in the situation when the guy was stranded on the boat. You know what I'm saying? And God kept on sending people to help him, and he overlooked it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
It's just a question because that might not be the facts.
No,
you know
I know.
What I'm saying? Like,
I know.
But it's just
what my answer to that is. Does it? How does it relate to the Word of God? Because in the Word of God, it says that there's
another one in there. That's what I was asking.
Okay, but it states and it says clearly the position of man, women, and children in a family.
Absolutely.
If I don't have the ability. Because I can admit my shortcomings, you know what I mean. Like some guys, most guys can't do that. They can't
admit it. Yeah, that's true facts.
Which put them in a very horrible place because now they can't even see what God has for them because they're looking at in a distorted view.
Yes.
I understand my shortcomings.
Right.
So if I can say that I can't provide what God has in His Word told me that I'm to provide for her, then I don't deserve or need to be with her because we're unevenly yoked.
Yeah. So, but that in that case, you know what I'm saying? Although in my situation, we have been unevenly yoked in that certain area, right?
Right.
God is now working on that other partner to make it to where it's starting to be, it's actually getting closer and closer to being evenly yoked.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? Like to where it's even getting to the point to where because the position statue, you know what I'm saying? Like that person is actually about to be on top now.
Right.
But it took time and patience and understanding and, you know what I'm saying, growth. Mm-hmm. In that other person, and maybe should have been done outside of the relationship, right? But at the end of the day, because of the way most people in the world anyways go into relationships, it worked, right? It worked out, and now it's working out to where it's good. It's I think maybe seeing the other side of it.
I know the other side of it. But here's the thing with that is still, I know
Jay, I'm gonna give you the question here in a second.
Yeah, I know that I know that I don't know everything. First of all.
Oh yeah, none of us do. If you think you know it everything, you in the wrong place.
You screwed up. But and with that, I know that I make mistakes. I'm not that I have made mistakes. I make mistakes. That's what we do. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I mean, I could have made a bad mistake, but see, God works in His time, and I trust in Him.
Absolutely. That's where it comes from, right there.
And my thing is like, if I feel led and I feel connection, I'm not going to pretend like I don't feel that. Okay. I'm going to explore it, but I'm still going to explore it with my eyes wide open. And I still am
going to walk into a blinding.
Right. Yeah. And I'm still going to put parameters up based off of where I am and where we're at. And I'm not just going to jump into some shit just because I feel like no, that's not me.
Right.
And that's just where I'm at with that.
Okay, so the question was after we asked the question of, and this is to you, Cycle J, after we asked who cheats more, black men or black women, we all stand on the whole thing that black men obviously cheat more in this moment, right?
Yeah, we as men love sticking things in holes.
Oh,
Yes.
Jesus. Here we go. All right. So the next question was, what does cheating look like in the black community? Is it more emotional, physical, or digital?
Oh man, you know what? That's a good question because I feel like it's all the above, and here's why. Just like on the podcast, the Psycho Headache podcast, we actually discussed a little bit of the evolution of technology and how technology has really skyrocketed and took it to parts that we would never fathom to imagine being reality.
There we go.
So when this question is posed, technology has expanded to where we have dating sites. We have what is it? Plenty of Fish and Moco Space and all the other dating apps and others.
Ooh, you're showing your age.
He's showing his age. He's showing his age huge here.
Yeah. So when you look at it in that aspect, you have to say all of the above because even some men, even now, have the emotional part to it because it's some. I always harp back to the old men, where men really didn't have feelings or have anything else. It was strictly one thing, and that was it.
Right.
There was no emotion attached to it.
There's no ah, damn, I can't think of the word, but yeah, like they don't recognize.
Yeah, they don't.
Yeah.
They either don't recognize or fail to recognize the emotional part to it.
Right.
Now we can't say that either because now most men are in their feelings.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They are more in their feelings than ever before.
Yeah.
So when you pose that question, it's all three. It's all three of them because there's no realm of possibility with either one because that's what it is.
It's the consequence of freedom.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's the consequence of freedom.
That's a good way to look at consequences of freedom.
And for our audience to chime in or to call in or leave a voicemail because we definitely would love to hear from you guys. Oh, well, hey, it is what it is. The number to call is 502-306-6789. That is our Government Cheese Party hotline, you might as well say. You can send a text message. You can call or leave a voicemail, however way you want to do it. Again, that number is 502-306-6789.
Okay. So Psycho J is saying that there's all three, and I obviously have to agree with that. I absolutely agree that emotionally is a lot of that has to do with the digital. I feel like a lot of men are living vicariously through these internet sites. That's where you get you get your
Fantasy sites.
Yeah, your fantasy sites and stuff like that. They it's a lot of stuff that goes on online and in online communities that we don't have no clue what's going on, and you got people that are getting emotionally attached to each other through the computer screens now. Not only that, but the physical is not going to just stop, right? Because there's always going to be that physical aspect. You got your one night stands. You always got your promiscuous women out there that are intriguing these men that most of the time that already have the issue. Now you got more women dressed and half dressed, you know what I'm saying? It's more intriguing. They leaving less to the mind and more to the just get down and get busy.
Right.
So I feel like, all three of them go hand in hand.
Right.
Because you can start off digitally and end up being physical, so it goes hand in hand. All of it goes hand in hand, I think, for me.
And even with that, like the rash, I feel like the rationality has diminished to the point where it doesn't, like, it's not even part of the equation anymore, because see that's how men are framed to think and to make decisions, and like there's that out of rationality comes common sense,
man.
And common sense ain't common, so it's not common sense anymore.
Yeah.
So the only thing you left is the rationale, which that is being pushed aside to self satisfaction. Like whatever makes me feel good makes sense. That's not rational, yet that's been preached for the past 15, 20 years.
Yes.
And then so for me, in my opinion, I feel like men have lost their path to masculinity because we're operating in a very emotional and basically feminine aspect. Right. And because I mean, for me, a rationality, like, it's rational for me, in my opinion, right, to believe that there's a difference between beauty and sex appeal.
Yes.
But I feel like when I say that, most men don't even like, what the fuck you talking about?
Right. I mean, a lot of it though too, you got to think about it. You show more signs of emotional intelligence than most men do too. Right. You see both sides. You know where your stance is. Right. You get what I'm saying, and you know what you're going to allow and not allow. Which that for me shows emotional intelligence. Right. And so it's it's a lot of stuff that goes into it, but they're not being taught this anymore, because it's the men that were there or were supposed to be teaching this are now called passport bros, right. And they have left and given up hope on the black woman at the period. Right. You get what I'm saying? So right. And they try to tell the black men, but what they don't realize is that you're not going to be able to get the whole culture to become passport bros, and that's what they push though. They push it, and not realizing that I mean, and I hear and I see what they're talking about. They said if you walk away from a situation, it's bound to change, right? And that's rational. That's a rational thing. That's right. A rational thought, and it's not something that is factual.
Well, I mean, yeah, you're right. But the rational part of it though is what interests me, because it's like you got to think about, okay, so I mean, yeah, if you keep going through the same thing and insanity, and expect something different, you're insane, right? And which the definition of insanity is irrational, yeah. So it makes sense for the passport type of mentality, because I don't want to deal. I don't for the person that I am, and the person that I've come to be. You know what I mean? Through all my mistakes, through all everything, I don't feel like it would be fair to me. Because I talk about other people most of the time. You know what I mean? Talking about trying to be good and fair to other people, but I got to be fair to myself.
Right.
It would not be fair for me to settle for someone who went the same amount of time that I went, making selfish and narcissistic decisions, and suffering those consequences, and damaging themselves in the well, see, this is why marriage is stupid, This is why.
Fully agree. I'm like, come on now. Doing the live podcast. Like,
all right.
Let's be professional.
I am being professional. Come on. We're having a conversation.
Yeah, as you're flicking the lighter. Yeah, that's
You wouldn't have been able to
professional.
hear that.
Oh God! See, this is the stuff. This is the good stuff. So, but all I'm saying is that I just I don't feel like it would be fair for me to settle for someone like that when I've spent my time trying to become something that I would want to give to someone else. Now, I'm not always there. We're not always going to be there, but I'm more of something that I would want to give someone, but particularly someone.
Right.
I don't feel like everybody deserves someone that would be as committed as I would be.
Right.
And
Right.
I'm not desperate. You know what I mean? I like that's the thing. Like a lot of people probably don't understand about that side of it. I will walk into darkness alone. I mean, that's the but I'm also can be honest with myself and say that I would like to have company.
I'm a walk. I'm the same way. I'm a walk in the darkness by myself.
So you saying you want to see? That's what I'm saying. I don't see. I said I don't want to. You know what I mean?
Oh, I do.
Okay, all right. You idiot.
At this point, he's trying to start shit, and I'm not going to fall into the hole. All right, so this is what's wrong with the black community now.
Right.
All right, so let's keep on moving with. So,
Right.
But yeah, no, I get exactly what you're saying. You
Yeah.
you want somebody that's going to be on the same level of commitment when it comes to how you're not going to settle for the next person being something less than.
But let me
that's what the society brings out.
Let me be clear about that. We don't have to be exactly right. Like I understand people need if it's set for me to help this help you get to somewhere,
That next
then I'll accept that.
Right.
In the same way, other way around. If you're there and it's obviously that you need to help me, I would expect that help.
Right.
But
right.
but see what I'm saying is people's intentions don't reflect that.
Never. I have not seen that in a very long time, actually. So yeah, you're right. Like your intentions and your actions don't match up, and that does hurt.
Right.
That hurts. Okay, so let's go on to the next question. The next question is only there's 3 more questions on here, but I believe there's one more in it. I mean, that's it. Buckle up, buckle up. All right. So now I don't know if y'all have ever heard of this. But this is my first time actually hearing of this movement in particular. And that just shows you how, I mean, maybe I'm a woman, so that it's a possibility that's the reason why I haven't heard of it. But I did look it up to kind of see what it was all about, and it's called the Black Men Don't Cheat movement. Now, this movement, and have you heard of it?
I've heard. I mean, I don't know what it is. I know Carlos Miller was like I thought it was a joke, so I don't know what it is.
So and that's kind of what it started off to be. Is a joke, and people ran with it. Obviously, it became a hot topic, and people ran with it about the black men don't cheat. Now, do you think that a movement like that, just like the feminist movement, right? Do you think that it hurts to not have people being held accountable?
I don't know what the fuck it is.
So the black men don't cheat. Hold on, let me go down a little bit here because I kind of researched in what it was exactly. Let's go down here. So what is the Black Men Don't Cheat movement? It's a social and cultural movement. It says part joke, part affirmation that pushes back against the stereotypes black men are habitual cheaters. Uh-huh. So that's pretty much all it really was. That's all the movement was.
It's just a statement that...
It was a statement that was pushed out, and it went viral, heavily viral, I'm guessing.
I still don't really quite understand what the movement would actually consist of. Like so what is the movement?
So it consists of black men pretty much fighting back, saying that the stereotypes are wrong. Black men are not habitual cheaters. Black men are not cheaters at all. Like this is they're removing the stigma on the black man being a cheater.
I mean,
do you think it's hurting the accountability on a part?
I mean, no. I mean, if someone is saying black men don't cheat and they're and they're going out and they're cheating, then they're a liar. I mean that's, you know what I mean? So what they're saying doesn't even matter. I mean, they basically cancel themselves out. I mean,
in some sense, right, though, but it also gives it's just if you go back into the feminist movement, right, it made it to look like women were like these superpowered people, and granted that we do have our own abilities, everybody has a superpower, right? Something that they're really good at, something that they're, everybody does. That's men, woman, whoever,
Right.
child, all of us have abilities that we're walking in, God-given talents, that we have. But they in other words, supersize them in the movement, right?
I feel like all movements are like business, like LLC.
Legit.
Not like,
Right.
it's not like, we're doing this just for off
Right.
the backs of freedom. Like,
Right.
no,
So the
it's more about
accountability kind of gets pardoned in this sentiment, to where it made it look like women had these superpowers and they were better than,
Right.
instead of, and the same thing is looks like it happened within this Black Men Don't Cheat movement,
Right.
and
I guess I can see where,
it
like,
hurts the accountability of the fact that men do cheat. Even though it's not saying that just in generalize, but women cheat too. But in this statement, it does hurt the accountability of the man to not take accountability for the fact that there is a huge part of the community that does.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I honestly I feel I'm a little torn on that one, because it's my thing is, if you're saying Black men don't cheat, and you really enforcing that way of thinking, then I think if depending on how they're doing it, it could be something that holds men accountable. Okay. I mean, because if you're saying Black men don't cheat, and then you see a brother over cheating, then you saying you're basically telling that man, you ain't no Black man, you ain't no real Black man. You mean, because it's the same way, I mean, we deal with it all the time when talking about when they talk about niggas.
Yeah,
you ain't no real nigga. You know what I mean? It's the dumbest fucking statement in the world.
Taking the black card from people. We do that a lot.
Yeah, you ain't no nigga, but you mean he ain't black. But we all know that there's a difference between black and nigga. You know what I mean? So it's like a narrative that you could use for positive. You ain't no black man if you gonna cheat on her like that.
All right.
And then so again, it's like a massive.
It could be used as a positive thing. I think unfortunately it hasn't been used as such.
I don't see any.
I don't know.
I don't see any instances where it's being used at all. I mean, I don't.
That's why I said I don't know
it.
nothing. Like that's why I said
Right.
I didn't know nothing about it up until this point, and that's why I was like, how pushed is it? You know what I'm saying? How really was it pushed? But it obviously is a community that obviously I don't have in touch space with. But I'm just saying this as a woman stance, that I wouldn't be involved in some of these communities because I'm not a man.
Right.
So I don't know if that is something. That's why I figured I asked. I don't know if you guys had heard of it or if anything like that. So because I feel like if it is what I'm thinking it is, I would say most definitely that it does hurt accountability to a certain extent, because that's one of the biggest. That's the reason why the women are going in the direction that they're going, is because there's nobody holding these women accountable, and I think that's the biggest part in our community in particular. We are very passionate about what we believe in. And in the women's stance, and me just looking at both sides of it, me being that submissive woman right now, and not being that submissive woman when I first came into my marriage, it's a difference, right? And not saying that I'm a different person, because I'm still me.
As she hijacks the podcast.
I do, absolutely. But I told you, I said I need a segment. I said I pointed it out before we started. But okay, well, I mean, it's just one of those things. I need a segment. this is a conversation that I feel like needs to be had.
Hey, you need to come up with the other segment with your buddy.
I know.
Hey, real quick, there's a mic right in front of you. The people listening are like, why does he sound like he's in a well?
Yeah.
Because I am.
Oh my God.
So yeah, but I really do believe that it does hurt accountability because we got people that are not being held accountable because of a statement.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and we.
I mean, I don't think nobody actually
community-
believes it though. I mean,
Yeah, I mean,
that's the other part.
I feel like, you know, a lot of people didn't think that people believed in the feminist moment, but unfortunately, it took a stance and it changed a lot of stuff, and that's not just within the communities, but it changed laws. Okay,
Right.
so like it's a lot of things that words turn into powerful things. It's a manifestation type of thing. Like
Right.
it's so we have to really take accountability for our actions. And that's just as human beings. That's as God's children. We have to be held accountable for what we've done wrong. Although just because the accountability doesn't look like what you think it should look like, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Is some kind of accountability has to take place to where, hey, no, this is not okay. Like you were saying, make it work in a positive frame where you look like, you can't be no black man because you over here cheating.
Right.
We are disowning you as this, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And that right there would be a positive outlook at it. As in a woman out there talking about, well, I'm better than you. You can't be no black woman because I most definitely ain't gonna demasculate this. How do you? I'm trying to get this word out. Demasculate our black men.
Emasculate.
There you go. Yeah, you know, I knew what was coming. Look, words. All right,
Right.
so they are important.
Words.
All right. Nah, but like seriously, like so. I think that's a key thing that we need to start taking into accountability, and also in our communities.
Yeah.
Talking more positive to each other, because I feel like, you know, we walking up calling each other the N-word, it's just not okay, because you're walking up to me and you calling me an ignorant person, because that's what the definition says. But either way, I'm not gonna get into that because I could keep on going in that conversation in the wrong direction. All right, so this next one kind of goes hand in hand with this one right here. The next question, it says, is cheating normalized in our culture, or are we just better at hiding it?
Are you trying to get someone
What? Who?
That's the whole conversation is to
Wait, what do you mean by we?
cheating, and are we just we as a people, are we better at hiding?
Fuck no.
Hell no, I don't
Fuck
think we
no.
are either.
So
I'm so happy he sounds like he's in a well.
he's a fucking idiot. Well, I don't know. I mean, what was the question? You fucking idiot.
Is cheating normalized in our culture?
Oh yeah.
Or
Okay.
are we just better at hiding it?
So again, this is not really a subject that I'm too has a lot of experience in, so I can't really say. But
I mean, just based off of the people around you.
right. Well, like I said, I don't know. I like cheating. That's a hard thing for me to really, I guess, encapsulate. I guess, you know what I mean? Because like in my mind, you know.
This next question is deep, y'all. I'm sorry. I just read it and I'm like, oh.
Well, like biblically and stuff like that, you know, because that's where my mind goes, you know, for most things, you know, like you know, adultery is a real thing,
Facts.
and I know that has deals more with marriage, and I understand that, but if you have someone who is committed to you, and you find it easy to break not only your commitment but their commitment, you know, their promise, you know, I I mean, we all go through certain times in our life where we have to go through some amount of growth and maturity to get to that point.
Right.
So I don't know if we're talking about like from a teenage standpoint, if we're talking about from an early 20 standpoint, if we're talking about from a late 20 standpoint, early 30, I don't know, because at certain times, you know what I'm saying, I feel like there's going to be a different answer.
Do you think that there's a different? So you do believe in the fact that as a man, they're stating that men should not even think about marriage until they're about 35. I'm not saying that. I was listening to something else. I was listening to something else that it was a TikTok panel. You know what I'm saying? And they were talking about stuff that was kind of similar to this here. And they were saying that, you know, the way he broke it down, it was just like women need to start earlier than men when it comes, not necessarily looking, but being available and being a wife. And men need to start at a later year. So they saying men about 35 is when they're at their right moment mentally.
I mean, I could attest to that. I mean, because I feel the most balanced I've ever felt in my life. Well, that's one of the moments, but the most I've felt in my life, and I just turned 35, and I do feel a certain amount of peace and a certain amount of I guess you could call it joy. You know, it's a certain amount of smoothness, and in my
I
being.
feel like it's like everybody that I've talked to so far, like, I feel like the switch that I seen in Cycle J was probably about 30.
Right.
And so like I think it does take account of it. And for women, they say that women mature a little bit faster than men when it comes to that.
Well, because they have to. I mean, like even like again, go back to nature.
Mm-hmm.
Like women have a certain amount of time before they're before they can't produce anymore. Like that's just the way the human body is. So they have to mature to that point to be able to receive. And to be able to,
I mean, that's why I think the way our menstruation comes in,
right,
is where our maturity starts kicking in.
Now,
and like some girls start menstruating at 10. Okay.
Oh,
so
shit. No,
like
when
I tell you that, like, I mean, this is where the world has taken us, right? I mean, a lot of that has to do with the fact that we're the way we're eating, but some girls, they start in their maturity, because you got to think about it. As soon as you start menstruating, you can become pregnant.
Yeah, but that's the same thing with us. Like as soon as you start getting erections, you can start fucking. So
but you got to understand what menstruation, and that the fact that, like you said, that's the reason why most women don't cheat as frequently, is because 9 months later we'll be dropping a baby.
Okay, but
it's the same that we have to teach our girl. This is what is being taught now. You know what I'm saying? Which is why some parts of me feel like that is the reason why some of the women are more promiscuous now,
right?
Because it's getting earlier and earlier. My mama didn't get her menstruation until she was like 15, 16 years old, and she got pregnant right after it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was just one of those things.
I don't know, because
you have to hold your body up. Your body is like literally preparing itself to be a woman at 10. That's crazy.
That's not. But I mean, that's only a certain part of your body, because a woman.
Oh yeah, mentally you ain't there.
That's what I'm saying. If you're not mentally developed,
yeah, they say mentally women
about
mature. About 21. They said a woman at about 21.
There you go.
Is that's where a woman should be physically preparing herself to be a wife.
Right. That makes a lot more sense.
Right. Now, I'm not saying that preparation. What I'm telling you, the reason why we are ready at 21 is because we have to literally start carrying ourselves a certain way once we start menstruating. And the reason for that is because once your body starts menstruating, it starts to cause your body to influx in, your breast starts growing, your hips start spreading.
Right.
It's you become more, your characteristics come more woman like. Right. So you have to, as a woman, and this is me coming as a stand, you have to carry yourself to a certain level. Now, if you don't have the correct person showing you how to carry yourself,
It's gonna be sloppy.
Yeah.
You know,
that's what it like it's going to at this point.
Right. And I mean that goes back to a whole conversation that we had a long time ago. Is we're talking about the age gap. Mm-hmm. See, that's why the age gap makes sense. You know, that's why like a 30 some year old like
but I feel like
compatible
not
with the 20,
not 20 and 30 year age gap. Okay,
no,
like
I'm
those are crazy age gaps.
I'm talking about the parameters that you just said.
Yeah,
35
21
and 21.
to 35. Yeah, that's
you know,
that's a good enough age gap. But you got to also understand that because these women are not being properly taught, they're not ready at 21. Right. In this day and age, right now, as we are speaking, they are not physically ready at 21. They're not ready until they're in their 30s too. Some of them.
You're talking about an unhealthy woman, mm-hmm. and we're talking about unhealthy men.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, I guess
in the same way.
You're right.
I mean, so because a lot of 35-year-olds are fucking out. I mean, Dominic, but but it's just.
Well, we can't help it. Look, it is what it is.
It is what it is, man. I love him to death, but who his choices? But but when you're dealing with healthy individuals, it makes complete sense. And I'm not saying because even though I feel like it does make sense, and I feel like there's no shame to it.
Right.
I can't date no 21-year-old.
Yeah, ain't no way in hell. So for me, it would be, but for me at 21, there was no way in hell I'm going for a 35-year-old.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? Like, so
right.
I think for me, it's on both sides.
Right.
Which is why we end up meeting somewhere in the middle.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I think, honestly, and like I said, I say this all the time. I was just like, I didn't know how old Psycho J was when we met. I didn't even think to ask. He just looked like he was older, and I took that as such, right? And come to find out that I'm 4 years older than him.
Right.
So like it was just, and we connected on a level. It wasn't the maturity level that we connected on, though.
Oh, and you know what?
So
that was a point that I was going to make early on in the show too. So you made a statement about what was how did you put it, like being woman enough for we talking about like working, I think, like something like that, right?
How you can carry all the different levels of a woman.
No. How I forgot how you said it, but it was like you said like being woman enough to being the woman like of trying of like being successful and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying, like being woman
Being
enough
a high level woman.
Okay, so yeah, something like that, right? So
excuse me.
My contentment for that is this, when I hear things when it comes to like achievements, mm-hmm. when it comes to skill sets, when it comes to that thing, that has nothing to do with a man being a man and a woman being a woman, right? And because it's just being ambitious enough to go after what you're going after, and being intelligent enough to understand what you know what I mean, those things, but to substitute like woman or even man, I feel like it's kind of leaving a bad narrative, because in my opinion, when I think about a woman being a woman, and a man being a man, I think that statement alone suggests a man's relationship to a woman and a woman's relationship to a man. You know what I mean? Like, like a woman's success has nothing to do with her being a woman.
Oh no, absolutely
man's-
not. That's why I said I think for me it's not based solely on, it's not based on really her skill set at all. I feel like for me, a high value woman, a high value woman for me is a woman that can literally can do the successful life and not forget that she's still a woman in this man's house and with this man. Mm-hmm. You get what I'm saying? That's
right.
what I mean when I say high value.
Okay.
So it's not the fact that her position is high valued.
Mm-hmm. Right. It's her interactions and relationship with
the man.
Yeah.
So I she's high valued because of that.
Right.
And and for me, and I've watched, like, I have 2 aunts that have been in marriages. For one of them, I was 2 years old at her wedding. Okay, so this is where they're still married, strong.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And she, for some points of times, she did make more money than he did. And I want to say still to this day she might be. You know what I'm saying? But
yeah.
And that's the type of woman I got to look up to in some sense.
Right.
And so. Normal times, and I think if I didn't really truly know you, it would have been a trigger for what you said. For some women that they're like, well, wait a minute, I know where I stand in my womanhood, but just because I make more money to you, I'm less value to you. And that's the way it would have went. But because I know, you know what I'm saying, and I'm looking, and I was just like, because in those dynamics for both of my aunts, I mean, I don't know if you met those two or not, but for both of my aunts, my aunt Tim and my aunt Janie, they both been in marriages for 30 plus years at this point, and their husbands run the household. Period. You know what I'm saying? Right. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. Right. They go to church regularly. They do, this is their thing. Well, and Janie, I don't know if she got Uncle Larry to go to church yet or not yet. But either way.
right. No, I got you.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, those men are in charge of those households. Mm.
No,
and that's
I respect
period.
that. I definitely respect that, and that's something that is I would consider being desirable, but just practically, you know what I'm saying, because most
you don't want to set yourself up for a failure because you already know where your mindset is. So why jump into something that is going to be a trigger for you?
Well,
as a man, it's going to be a trigger for you.
What's going to be a trigger?
Like, as in, like, that. So, say for instance, there's a lot of men that will jump in relationship with women that make more, and then be triggered by the fact that she makes more. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, it's so stupid. It's redundant, right? So, dumb. But like, and maybe not knowing that the woman is making more until they get into the financial part of it. You know what I'm saying? And that could be it. But like, even then, you still that's a trigger of yours. Like you said, you've been very strategic, even if you maybe fucked up along the way somewhere. Right. You know what I'm saying? Hey, this is what I can't take.
Well, and again, and I think you kind of already touched on it. It's like, I don't have a problem with women making more money than men.
Right.
That's never been my issue. My problem is the risk that comes along with that.
Right.
Because anything can happen, and we all know crazier things have happened. In relationships and just in general.
Yeah.
I mean, and if something were to happen, how do I protect myself? The same way a woman should be thinking.
How she could protect herself, right?
Exactly. You know what I mean? So, like in many other ways, including that way.
So,
you know what I mean?
even in those situations, so like I said, for most women, when we're on the opposite end of that, like the man is making more money,
right,
and they're doing the bill pays and stuff like that,
right,
what money we bring in usually comes into our pockets. So what a woman in that stance, what we fall in to do is just make a separate account that you don't have no clue about, and then sitting there. And I feel like that's where women have protected themselves, because it should be. And I think for me, I'm going to tell my husband I have this separate account.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? And the reason why I'm going to tell him this is because I need him to understand just because you're the breadwinner doesn't mean you're going to do whatever the hell you want to me.
Right.
I'm having a fall safe
Right.
just in case because you don't want me to be here. So now I'm going to make myself known like I'm building here.
Right. I have, again, I make strong choices. You know what I mean? So,
Right.
yeah, and again, I have to disclose that every time I say something because I know how people get. But in my way, if whatever money is being made, it needs to be in one account. You
Right,
know,
no, and I get
that. And I understand what you're talking about too, like having that fall safe and all that stuff. But see, my thing is this: if it's all in one account, then when it's cut up, it's cut up. But now, but also on top of that, see, my thing is, I never said, right, and I'm not saying anyone's accused me of this,
Right.
but I've never said that I want someone to be 100% dependent on me.
Right. Well, see, and that's
Right.
that's a good statement there. But you got some men out here that are like
Yeah,
that. That's
right.
why.
Well, fuck them.
It's like
You know?
you have men that literally get prenuptial agreements.
Yeah, so
So
to
she
keep them-
cannot
right.
keep her at bay.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So like,
And I do believe in prenups. You know what I mean? But
yeah, me too. That's why I said like,
Right.
we just talked about that. With you. I'm
Right.
not playing.
Right.
I'm not playing. But
but even in that in that vein, I'm like, I want a competent person, like not just a woman, but I want a competent individual that I'm partnering
That's
with.
gonna look really good on the fact that if she has that money just saved over there for stuff that she wants to do.
Again, like that has to be something that we invest together in. Like she can't just do that on her own. The same way I can't do what I want on my own either. Like, see, my thing is this, if we trust each other, then we're gonna trust each other. If we're not gonna trust each other, then fuck it. I'm not playing this. Well, I'm kind of trusting them, and I don't know if I trust them. No, I'm not doing that.
That's the fight in the prenuptial. That's why some men don't do it. It's because they feel like the women think that they don't trust them. And
Right.
so that's the reason why that it gets so sticky.
Right. Well, and that's and that's in form of divorces. Which I'm not. If I were to ever marry, I'm not thinking about divorce. You know what I mean? So, but
Divorce is not an option over here.
right.
I'm just laying.
Right.
I put it out there for free.
But even
Death do us part.
shit. Right. But even like I said, but even in that vein, like, see, like, I feel like a woman. No, stop saying that. I feel like a person protects themselves by their skill set, and I've always said that. I've always meant that. I don't feel like money should be what protects you. I feel like your ability and your skill set should be what protects. So if you have the ability to make money, that's your protection. Because if I'm not around and you can go back to work, then that's what you do.
That has been a problem though. So let me just say this: it's like the women can have a skill set, right? A woman could go to college, complete college, and then go and get married, right, and become that submissive wife. And you've been that submissive wife for 20 years.
Right.
And the field that you studied and you perfected and you did what you did in, that's your skill set, right? It's kind of hard 20 years later to go back into it. So they find themselves in poverty because of that. So that's what that separate account literally entailed. And it's really hard to do something like that together. Like you can't. When you have that fall safe, and that fall safe can never be used, it could be one of those situations to where if she's building up this account and this is the man that she's really going to be with, that could be something that that can really be down the line, could be used for something greater.
Again, though, I mean, if we make that decision together, then okay. But if you're taking money out of the pot, I feel like that's a form of theft.
Well, I mean, some men. Okay, so and I get what you're saying. Like, if you're having that joint account, both of y'all have income coming into that account, and she's taking out the parts that she's made, right? Mm-hmm. So that is taking away from the family dynamic, right?
From the marriage.
Yeah, from the marriage, it is. But some situations, only the men's money is going into these accounts because the woman's money is not even accounted for.
Right. And
You know what I'm
again,
saying?
again,
that's you. They don't know.
If that's coming from a conscious decision, then it's okay. But if it's done underhandedly, it's not okay.
It's done just because of the fact that you feel like this person's about to leave you.
Right, exactly. Yeah, like that's not okay.
I got you.
You know, if you really feel that unsafe, then you need to get the fuck out of the relationship.
Facts. All facts. All right, let's get into this last question because Jay already said that I'm going too long. By the way, welcome into June 1st, y'all. Welcome into June 1st. It is June 1st already right now. All right, so the last question, you guys, that I'm going to ask in this topic, you guys, it says, do you think black love has more pressure on it to look perfect online, even when it's broken behind scenes?
Oh, I wouldn't know anything about that. I mean, I don't put a lot of attention on that type of stuff.
I mean, but okay, so let me just say this. Let me point out like different ways that you can look at this, because I kind of figured that question was going. That's why I said this is going to be a harder question.
Right.
Look at Will Smith and Jada.
Okay.
I have to bring them up because they are a well-known black couple. Okay. Really? Look at Denzel and his wife. I don't remember her name right now, and I can look it up. Could somebody look up his wife's name?
You could have just started off with that.
Right.
Bringing up Will and Jada.
Will and Jada has the most controversy going around them online right now. Jeez. So look at.
I'm trying to think of a woman's name. Denzel's wife.
I can't remember her.
Eliza or something like that.
And you know, in some sense, this is where, you know what I'm saying, he has protected his wife from the stance of this online bull.
It's Pauletta.
Okay.
So, and I'm looking at those very well known public figures in their relationships and what it turned into. So like we look at Beyonce and Jay-Z. Look at, you know what I'm saying, Tia and her husband. What is his name again? Shit. He was the guy, I forgot his name. But either way,
guy number 2.
Yeah, well no, he's the first guy. He's that stuff that she's been with him since they've been together since they were teenagers. All right. So
something like that.
no, she not Tia. Tia was with the black dude.
Okay.
Black marriages. You get what I'm saying? If you think about those black marriages, or even the ones that were fake and not there, look at the Cosby Show.
All right.
You know what I'm saying? Like those online, the black love that was showed to us or have been showed to us. Do you think that there's more pressure on them to look perfect because they are a black couple?
I mean, yeah.
And
I mean,
the marriage rates.
Anything dealing with black in general is going to be more more stringent on us anyways. I mean, so yeah, I mean, it's more critical for us to have a good example of I guess black love or whatever, or marriage, than anyone else. So yeah, I mean there is
okay,
more.
Okay, so now this is where I'm going to end it out. And I want everybody to really think about it. Why is it that everything that we put black in front of, it takes us more work at it? Why do we feel like we have more pressure if underlying things weren't true? You get what I'm saying? Like underlying things as in like the society and how they look at us. Why is it that black marriages, we have the lowest percentage, but yet we have the most pressure?
Right. I mean,
why? I mean, this is like this is just a thinker. We don't necessarily have to go into detail because that conversation alone can take 3-4 hours. So I just want us to really think about it. What type of pressure are you putting on the opposite sex?
So that's
what kind of pressure are you putting on that? Because I feel like we have gotten to the point in society now that we're not worried about. We shouldn't be worried about what other people are thinking about us. We need to start building our community and being truthful within it.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, you know, I'm pretty sure there is a lot to unpack there, but you know, but I guess in my mindset, I'm like, you know, I don't feel like I put a lot of pressure, and I don't put a lot of thought into the examples.
The expectations that we have sometimes can be a little bit of an overload, even though that's our expectations, right? That's what we expect from the next person. Excuse me, my voice. That's what we expect from the next person. But as a woman, I know that we expect a man to do so much.
Right.
And for us women, we have lists of things and demands that they must do or must be, and it actually here recently it's been vice versa. Now men are doing that same exact thing, and that's because again we have become more of an emotional culture, and now that we have become that, you know what I'm saying, the list and the demands are getting higher and higher on both ends. You know what I'm saying? So they saying if a woman expects they want a man to be a multi-millionaire, she needs to be a multi-millionaire herself. If a woman expects for a man to be let's see, I'm trying to think of he must be emotionally intelligent, then that woman needs to also learn how to be logical. Like it's so many things that go into it, and I feel like the pressures on what we want the society to see us as has turned us into this thing where we're literally turning against each other. We have black men that refuse to date black women. We have black women that refuse to date black men because of what society has put in our fucking heads.
Well, it's society, but also it deals with a lot of personal, not just personal preference, but like personal experiences. Because I have a hard time blaming, you know, and I'm just talking from my perspective. You know, I have a hard time blaming, you know, some men who don't want to date black women. You know, I have a hard time, you know, like looking down on them because the what's normal for a black woman is something that's not desirable. I mean, I've heard all the
stories. Like I've seen it, but I mean, I hear you. I hear what you're saying. I'm not gonna be a blind eye to what's going on.
Right.
But you got to understand that we all got there for a reason.
Again.
So you bred a creature that is now emotionally unbalanced.
Here's my thing about that, though. See, y'all know me. I'm going to talk about the problem. Mm-hmm. And then, you know, it went and I want to talk about solution and go that far, but I'm not going to spend too much time talking about the reason why the problem exists. You know what I mean? I'm not going to, because that gets into the realm of excuses.
Definitely makes an excuse for it. Yeah, but that's why I said we have to hold accountability. We got to have accountability for all of it.
So even in that thinking, I have to be honest. It's like, you know, you logically, you can't expect a man to hold themselves to the same standard. And I know it's the other way around too, but you can't expect a man to hold himself to the same standard that the regular black woman is putting on us, and you can't expect us to do that willingly. That's why we're going out to other races like that. That's the reason. So with that being said,
now that we know the reason, so now we have to look at
the solution. So the solution has to be there has to be a reintroduction to the reality of how relationships naturally occur without the conveniences of our technology and our
we need a reset in our culture.
Yeah. We need a straight natural reset because if you feel like that as a woman, that if I don't come with a house and a car in a bank account that with six figures and all that stuff, then I'm not worthy of you. That word alone pisses me off. But I'm not worthy of your time, and I'm not worthy of you. Then you are basically saying that the man's growth should be obtained without the help of his woman. Which is
without you, why I need you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like you are
a
literally
woman's
eliminating
mentality too, for sure.
Yeah, you are literally eliminating yourself out of the equation. You have basically devalued yourself and your contribution by saying that they have to be done before they get with me. So now obviously you've turned this into a transaction.
Yeah.
And I don't, and me personally, I don't care how much money I'll get in my life. If I get $1 billion, I'm not paying for pussy. That ain't happening.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like nah.
Yeah. Now, what about the women that do make already? They like themselves. They making six figures, and like they're making six figures on their own.
Right.
So the man that they want is a man that they feel like matches their evenly yoked.
And unfortunately, they've put themselves at a disadvantage. They put themselves at the disadvantage because the fact is, you're pulling from a pool of men that make up 1% of the population,
literally,
and everybody wants that. You know what I mean?
Sucks.
So
I mean, but it sucks for a woman because, like I said, like that's why I think like you were saying, the reset needs to happen, because the reason why you have women out here making six figures is because of the fact that they were taught to be this independent woman. Well, they were taught to be the strong suit. They were taught to go after their career.
And but also,
it's really hard.
But also to add with that, see, the other reason why they're able to do that is because it's so much easier to
that's another
do
conversation that we're gonna happen. We're gonna have we gotta have that because we as a community, if you look at the scenarios, right? This is what I'm just going off of statistics. I can't say it. Say it. Somebody say it.
Statistically.
Yeah, so yeah, what he said, and I can never say those words together. This is how the ranking goes. You got white man, black man, white women, black women always land on the end of that totem pole. And this is me pulling up I'm pulling up the statistics. I had to just slow down, like I say it, pulling them up. When you look at financial levels. And when you look at the ranking of how the world or how society looks at them, and you'd be surprised how many people don't realize that these statistics exist. I'll bring those up. I'll have them, but the black woman has to fight 10 times harder than the white woman. That, by the way, we did it to ourselves by joining into that feminine moment, that feminist movement, the white woman, and then we're battling our own men.
You're competing.
Yeah, right. We're battling, but it's still a battle, and the reason why it's a battle is because we feel less than. You have the men that in our community that are making the six figures that refuse to date the women in our community because we are on the bottom. We have to fight for the ones that do. Like you said 1% of men. It's even less than that when it comes to women making six figures. That's in the black community.
Well, I mean, there's statistics that counter that too, but
Oh yeah, no, we get into that. We'll get into that.
We can get into that. Yeah,
like I mean,
But
there's a lot of stuff, but
later.
we just have to. We have to look at the objective of all of it, and that's why I wanna break it. That's what all my segments are gonna be about from this point on, because I want us to get the truth and get the truth out there when it comes to why we're really separating. And yes, get the problem, and yes, get a solution. Right. So, and I'm gonna close out with that. That's all. Thank y'all for listening to me. Sorry it was so low-winded.
Super long-winded.
Don't be hateful. Don't be hateful.
Hey, truthful. Super long-winded.
I'm gonna kick you. You wait.
Before I close out this show, I definitely want to take my time to
Okay.
to not only celebrate. Well, we've done our fair share of black bashing, but I definitely want to take this time to celebrate one instance that happened today that very few people are talking about, and that's inside the NBA. This was their final season on TNT. And I know they've done their fair share of documentaries and all this other stuff. But when I look at inside the NBA and see not only the star power, but the black people that are on that set. You're talking about Shaquille O'Neal, Chuck, and Charles Barkley, and Kenny the Jet Smith, and I mean, you know, Ernie sometimes. I mean, he can pass for being black because, you know,
he gets a card. He gets a pass.
But not only that, but the way that show has been built. I mean, before Shaq, you know, it was just Charles, Ernie, and Kenny for a majority of the part. But you're talking about 36 seasons of Inside the NBA.
Yeah.
And every single time, it was heart-filling at sometimes and some points in their career, because there was a lot of low points in our national, in our capital and around America.
Right.
There was also some high points, you know, some funny moments, some things that was entertaining that all three, and Shaq as well too, when he first joined. A lot of entertainment and a lot of laughing and a lot of enjoyment and cool inside of the NBA. And I feel like we barely get that.
All right.
Especially in news or anything like that. You don't see a panel full of black African American men dissecting something and having fun doing it.
Right.
And, you know, like I said, we've done our fair share of bashing on our podcast with black people in general. But I did want to take that time, because 36 seasons is a long time.
Right.
That is half of my lifetime. You know what I'm saying? Because just sitting there watching them, look, their first episode was 1988. You know, you're talking about from 1988 to now. You know, doing this show and you know, just thinking back at all of the, you know, racial things that happened. You know, and all the racial tensions between.
Hold up. Charles was on there since 1988.
I think the show first started in 1988. I don't think the Charles and they slowly started. Yeah, they started to slowly. Ernie kind of sort of started it off, but it slowly started adding, you know, pieces to it. But I want people to fully understand of the magnitude of that show and the culture that it left with not only us growing up, but for the kids and their kids' kids. You know what I'm saying? Growing up and watching those four guys, those four individuals put on a show. So as ESPN picks up, I guess, the NBA, because they're under TNT and the Warner Company, a lot of uncertainty with that. But like I said, I wanted to take my time to celebrate that.
All right.
Because that is a hell of an achievement on any level.
Right.
And especially for having a black crew do that and have fun and do it for that longevity. And look, regardless of whatever the future is between now and then, no telling. But that was a hell of a run.
Yeah, man. Yeah. I mean, 36. They said 36 seasons.
36 seasons.
Holy shit, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
And all that time,
Charles has gotten fatter and fatter.
Charles just keeps getting fatter.
And now losing weight. Now, heading out.
I don't know. I mean, are they showing him like we only see him from the waist up, like I think most of that weight has probably been distributed a bit down to his ankles. Like if we seen him stand up right now, he's probably looks like Yokozuna, like from the waist down. I don't know. I just feel like you can't just lose that type of fat. Like that fat is just is in his head too. You know what I mean? So yeah, I mean, I guess. No, you know what, man? I love. Oh God, dude. The relationship between Charles and Shaq, like it is. It like you know they're so they're so competitive. You know that they mean everything they say, and the shit that they say is like, okay, so there's gonna be a fight now, right? You know what I mean?
They never do.
They never do, and they show so much love. They show as much love as they do hate towards each other.
Yeah.
Like it's equal parts. It's very impressive.
Yeah, it is. It is. So thank you guys for joining the Government Cheese Party podcast. We appreciate you guys. Continue to spread the word of the Government Cheese Party podcast. Let them know that they can find us anywhere they listen to podcasts. Follow us on Facebook. Also follow us on TikTok as well. And oh man, I think I forgot the number, but hold on. The number is 502-306-6789. If you have any comments, concerns, discussions that we've had, we'd love to hear from you. Again, that's 502-306-6789. You can call anytime, leave voicemail, text message, whichever you choose. But we greatly appreciate the listen. Please don't forget to follow us. And follow us on YouTube as well. We'll be back better than ever next weekend. Hope you guys enjoy. And the motherboard disconnects.